Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, I'm currently going through the album This Place Will Become Your Tomb by Sleep Token, and this is going to be the fourth song on the album, Like That. I've got the visualizer pulled up, just like the previous tracks, so we'll have something to look at. I guess we'll get right into it.
Trapped under the surface of your words, there is a new intention, new whispers that once could not be heard, catching your intention. Wait.
So this song is immediately very different than anything we've heard so far on this album. We've got this drum beat that starts just giving us some off-kilter bass hits and this like electric drum kit that's going on. So the snare, obviously not a real snare. Um, it's like a sample. The whole thing has this electronic feel to it. And it's, to me, the way that everything's laid out here, the vocals, the melody's kind of creepy, I think is the way I would describe the feeling of the song so far. There's also, to kind of add to that discomfort, there's like a synth note way sitting up top, just kind of droning. And if I back up a little bit, I think you'll hear it. It's about to turn into something different, a little bit more melody. But so far, you've just kind of got electronic bass, electronic drums, Vessel's voice. Yeah, we'll get into it.
Be heard, catching your intention. Wait, talking with braces on your tongue, just to provoke my combat. New
That synth over top is still going, just unsettling.
Just to watch me fall back. Do you like that? Do you like that?
All right, so now we have real drums coming in, right? We heard the lead in there. We've just heard what is the chorus, right? And in the background, this to add to this atmosphere, we've got Vessel kind of doing this whisper thing going on, kind of like right into your ear if you're wearing headphones, right? And he's also giving this delivery where it's very breathy. The whole thing, I think, is just very unsettling.
Down into membranes and layers.
Oh, I think the walk down. Oh, everything's just slightly off in the beat from where you expect it to be. Oh. So we have what could be a very boring chorus, right? He's just repeating "Do you like that" over and over again. But what sells it is that behind this very simple idea in the chorus line, for the vocals, is this like really cool, just like syncopated um, guitar riff, which Sleep Token's great at doing these, by the way. You just hear this kind of off kilter, heavy hits on the guitar with drum fills in between. this could be a very straightforward chorus, but it's not because of that. And even though Vessel is saying the same words over and over, and it's a very simple melody, he is putting, the typical flair on it, where he kind of like does some vocal runs at the end of his phrases and stuff like that too. So it still makes it interesting, even though it is kind of a droning um, melody for the chorus. There's not really much moving there, but everything underneath the vocals is constantly doing kind of an up and down, back and forth, push and pull thing. Just look at that whispering in the background. Much more interesting melody here.
Only your
Just such great layered vocals there. We're just jamming at this point. So we have a fade out there with the do you like that over and over again. It's a very strange song, but there's some very, very Sleep Token things going on in it, even still. Mostly at the bridge or outro or whatever you want to say, the structure of the song is also kind of strange, because we get the more interesting melody there, and for the bridge. And it does the same thing that the last two songs have done, where we've got Vessel setting up an interesting melody, and then he kind of just sings over top of it, and it just layers on itself. Very Sleep Token thing to do. We saw that in Hypnosis. We saw that in Mine, something that the band really likes to do. And I feel like we just get to jam out to the end of this song. The drummer is kind of released to do some crazy beats, while we have that off-kilter, syncopated guitar rhythm going on. Until we just fade out. So we'll hop into the lyrics here as well, because I think that'll add to what this song is trying to portray, and I think it does it well, as most of their songs do. So let me over here. All right. So this song is the first kind of foray on this album into a idyllic version of like love and relationships, right? And we can almost see this immediately. It's not immediately obvious, like it's in the first verse, but trapped under the surface of your words, there's a new intention. New whispers that once could not be heard, catching your intention. It's a little vague about what's going on here. But we get very combative feeling from the second verse, talking with braces on your tongue just to provoke my combat. New weapons to snap those final strings, just to watch me fall back. Do you like that? Which is almost like is it like a sarcasm, or just kind of a scathing question from someone who is in this combative situation, right? This is very interesting, because everything like Hypnosis, Mine, once again, we get this very idyllic version of somebody that you're interested in, and here we get what is probably a brutal reality for quite a few people, right? I think the song at its core is getting to kind of touching the idea of abusive relationships, right? trying to mess with whoever you're in a relationship with, right? Try to provoke them, see what you can do to manipulate them. Um, I mean, we kind of see this here, this slow dissection, right? I stumble into your tar trap in addition to your collection, where you kind of could see the other person, right, as more of an object, right? Something to collect. Um, Meanwhile, you're just like kind of pulling them apart, right? I feel like this kind of gets into emotional, if not physical abuse, right? It kind of, I think this hints more at like a emotional abuse type thing. Pushing their buttons, seeing how far you can push things. They're more of an object to you. Um, and we can kind of see, um, I guess, if this is going to be from the perspective of the person who is being abused, right? The fall into your eyes like a grave, bury me to the sound of your name. I know people like to use the word, I guess, gaslighting a lot, but this kind of seems like it might be that kind of relationship. And the first time I listened through this album, I thought that maybe this whole album was a chronological story that was going on, like kind of the push and pull of like a single relationship. But the more I listen to it, I'm wondering if each song has a different look at what relationships can be, and it's just kind of like a collection. Because other than Atlantic, which kind of is its own thing so far, Hypnosis might could represent like obsession, right? Obsession and like infatuation. Mine kind of gets to the idea of a soulmate, I think, with this like, okay, well, we're going to get together even if it takes eternity, blah blah blah, like you're the only one type deal, right? And that seems to fall into like kind of the emotionally abusive category, where people will want relationships just because they want to control other people, right? They want to kind of push your buttons, they want to get to you. So I'm wondering if that's what this song is trying to get at. And I wonder if that's kind of the idea of the whole album. But either way, um, this song clearly is a lot darker in tone. It's a lot creepier than our other songs that we've looked at. And if we look, I'm going to check it again because I've checked it every video so far. We've got our depth marker. And you might not be able to see it super well, but it is now 3,644 meters. Once again, don't know the specific meaning of that, but it's clearly deeper, if that's what that means. Maybe I'm completely misinterpreting this. But it's also darker. The visualizers have been slowly getting darker and darker. We started with Atlantic at the ocean's surface. Now it looks like we're pretty deep where there's not much light getting through, right? So maybe things will get more and more messed up as we go along. But that's my thoughts on Like That. In the next video, I'll continue this album. I may start doubling up the songs if they're short like this one, if I don't have as much to say about them. But for now, I'm going to leave it at that, and I'll see you in the next one.